good morning, good afternoon, whenever you might be watching this, and welcome to 5 Minute Friday. My name's Steve Smith. I'm one of the ministers here at the Beltline Church of Christ, and I'm so glad you clicked on this video. This Sunday here at Beltline, we're going to be looking in John the 4th chapter, and we're going to be looking specifically at this exchange between Jesus and a Samaritan woman at the well. And what I want to do with this quick video today is answer two questions. Number one, who were the Samaritans? And number two, why was there so much animosity and hatred between the Jews and the Samaritans? Because every time you read about Samaria in the New Testament, it is not a positive thing. So what's going on? Why is that there? And answering these two questions, I think, is actually going to help us understand a little bit better this exchange that Jesus and this woman have in John chapter 4. So to answer that question, we have to back up in Israel's history to the time of the kings. Remember that the kingdom of Israel was united under King Saul, King David, and King Solomon. Those three kings brought peace and prosperity to Israel. But after Solomon dies, his son Rehoboam takes the throne. And he makes some very bad choices based on some very unwise counsel, and rebellion happens. 10 tribes moved north. They established their own kingdom. They leave Jerusalem and they say, we're not having anything to do with you anymore. And Judah and Benjamin stay in Jerusalem to the south. And so you have this division in the kingdom. 10 tribes to the north have a new king. His name is Jeroboam, and he is wicked. He is evil. And every king that comes after Jeroboam is wicked and evil. They bring in the worship of idols. It's horrible, these kings and their rejection of God. So, in 721 BC, God allows the Assyrians to come in and carry them away into captivity. Now, not all of the Jews who were in those 10 northern tribes were carried away, but most of them were. Assyria was smart. Here's what they did. When they conquered an area like the 10 northern tribes, they would carry them off somewhere else, and they would take another nation that they had conquered and bring them into that conquered land. And that's what happens here in these 10 northern tribes. These foreigners begin to come in and intermarry with the Jews who were left behind, and a new group of people rise up called the Samaritans. That's where it comes from. And the Samaritans, because they're not fully Jewish, are hated by the Jews. But that's not the only reason. If you remember, Israel is carried off into Babylonian captivity 150 years later, roughly, and ultimately God allows them to return to Jerusalem. And when the Jews are returning to Jerusalem, it is the Samaritans who fight vigorously against what they're doing. Sanballat is a Samaritan who fights against Nehemiah trying to rebuild the wall, who fights against Ezra who's trying to rebuild the temple. And so more animosity begins to grow. So not only are they this intermarried group of foreigners and Jews who became a new people, they fought against trying to reestablish the worship of God. As time goes on, every time, not every time, but a lot of times when there was a criminal who was trying to escape justice in Jerusalem, they would escape to Samaria, and Samaria would welcome them with open arms. In fact, when Rome comes into the picture, they set up a base in Samaria because they know how much the Samaritans hate the Jews in Jerusalem. Over and over and over, these times of frustration and anger between these groups rises up. So much so that when a Jew would be traveling north and went through Samaria, often there would be raiders who would attack those people moving north from Jerusalem to Samaria. So they started to go around. They wouldn't even go through Samaria anymore. The Jews considered the Samaritans to be in a perpetual state of uncleanness. Wow. So much hatred, so much animosity between these two groups. They have a history that goes on and on and on. And yet Jesus, as we'll find out this Sunday in John 4, is going to break down those walls. He's going to preach the gospel to a woman who's going to go back to her city and tell about the Savior of the world, Jesus Christ. I can't wait to get to this story. I hope that helps you maybe understand a little bit more about this exchange that takes place between Jesus and this woman. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I hope that you'll be able to be with us either in person or online. And until then, may God bless you as you strive to live for Him.